They toiled all day, gobbling food like contestants, sipping drink, while the little white dog outside watched the storm door like a detective. Everyone slept, and as the only girl, Hyoling decided to spend the night in the car, her heart racing at the thought of Murioma Junji. She called her senior and learned Murioma Junji was nicknamed Japanese fox spirit Murioma. Her master once saw him, thinking he was extraordinarily powerful, perhaps a transformed fox. After hanging up, Hyoling remembered her deceased grandmother. Whenever uneasy, she thinks of her loving grandmother. At this moment, the monk is about to lie down when he hears a strange noise outside. Dozing assistant woke up startled, seeing the monk shout, "Someone took my liver." She hastily drew a symbol on the ground. Waking from her nightmare, she couldn't sleep. She opened the monk's empty room, pondering. She arrived at the storm with the coffin, the door locked, feeling relieved. Suddenly, pig grunts echoed in the distance. She dashed to the pig bin, catching a pungent stench, then saw a gigantic monster shadow. The monster tore Pig's owner to shreds. She quickly knocked on Hyoling's window. A foul odor hit them. The coffin had cracked. Looking up, it had escaped through the roof. While they checked countless times, they forgot to seal the roof. Hyoling rushed to her assistant Lao Gao, then approached the coffin and found an ancient helmet inside. Realizing she couldn't escape, a huge shadow suddenly approached the door, asking Hyoling, "Young lady, are you human?" Hyoling quickly knelt down and replied, "No, I'm your servant." Then a human head rolled to her feet. It was the monk's head. She was shocked but managed to calm herself and replied, "I'm definitely your servant." At that moment, the other party fell silent. Suddenly, the terrifying voice returned from above, still Hyoling's voice, as if putting pressure on her. The assistant shouted for Hyoling to run, but just as she was about to move, the monster grabbed the assistant's face, examining him as if he looked quite. The monster drove its hand into her stomach, and it looked like Hyoling wouldn't escape death either. Suddenly, the monster spotted the Buddha statue next to Hyoling, paused, and began muttering sutras to itself. In a shocking twist, the monster burst into flames, turning into a fireball that soared skyward, drifting away in terror-struck gazes. At the hospital, the TV broadcast news of a wild bear attack, shredded pigs, and 2 corpses found. The victims were the monk and a pigpen worker. Local officials were cooperating with the military to hunt the bear. Hyoling, covered in blood, waited anxiously outside the surgery room, feeling helpless. Lao Dao sat down beside her, apologizing. "If only we hadn't dug up the coffin." Hyoling didn't blame anyone. She worried about the monster leaving footprints and shadows. Shamanism says ghosts aren't complete, but that monster was too real. Finally, the surgery room door swung open and the doctor came out. Though the injured had lost a lot of blood, they were still alive. The doctor frowned, however. They must be transferred to a major hospital immediately. After hearing the doctor's words, Lao Gao suddenly thought of something. The fox cuts the tiger demon was exactly what Mr. Park said before his death, a special shamanic ritual in Korean shamanism. The ritual required 2 plates of dry bread as offerings, and the women formed a circle, chanting. Before long, the person on the bed started to react. Hyoling approached, and the assistant abruptly opened her eyes, asking fluently in Japanese, "Where's your master?" The assistant, with red eyes, revealed coordinates matching those on Lao Gao's Feng Shui compass. She continued smiling, saying, "He's the general guarding that place." This information made Lao Gao's heart skip a beat. This was the giant monster from the temple last night. Thankfully, he was asleep, perhaps overwhelmed by thoughts last night. Lao Gao fled, while Hyoling ended the ritual. She confirmed it was a Japanese ghost, thanked them, realizing she'd face it alone. Lao Gao arrived at the body refining master's home, still shocked by his discovery. After coming down, he explained what he had encountered. He first visited the temple, hoping to find some clues. As the previous spirit mentioned, treasure hunters had been around, leaving behind quite a few tools. He rummaged through a pile of junk and found an old book, which surprisingly contained a photo. On the back of the photo was a thick word, "Ironsaw." At first, he thought it was left by grave robbers, but upon closer inspection, he found these people all had determined looks in their eyes. The nearby island head and shovel bore the names of these individuals, so he shouldered the tools. He made his way to the tomb and unexpectedly encountered the monster from last night. Upon returning to the body refining master's place, the master was still baffled by his decision, yet Lao Gao firmly explained his rationale. The Japanese folk spirit mentioned by Unveiling was indeed the guardian of the tomb he had selected. To block the tiger demon, he inserted an iron brick, which warriors once tried to remove. Yet for some reason, they failed. After Lao Gao's deduction, Unveiling suddenly understood. The Japanese ghost existed solely to protect that iron brick. Lao Gao decided to remove the iron brick for future generations, perhaps freeing the assistant from the evil spirit. Unveiling, a shaman, interjected, "Indeed, no Japanese ghost is good." Uneliminatable, Unveiling could divert it briefly, letting Lao Gao and others yank out the iron brick. Suddenly, the assistant's condition worsened, prompting Unveiling to summon a doctor, who then made a significant discovery. Wounded by the Japanese ghost avoided the golden tattoos, showing its fear of gold patterns. To lure the Japanese ghost, they decided to scatter incense fish outside the tomb as bait. Unveiling selected a yew tree to draw the Japanese ghost there, and everything was set up. At midnight, the assistant hurried to the window, sticking talismans and bringing a rooster to attract the Japanese ghost. Suddenly, a hand shot up from the soil. The assistant began chewing. The Japanese ghost enjoyed it. Unveiling dashed to the yew tree, ready to welcome the unexpected guest.